what's up, everybody? I'm Bob Walters. This is Locked Up Sports. Jalen Brunson goes down for the Knicks last night in a win against Memphis. How long will he be out? Johnathan Quick with another solid performance between the pipes for the Rangers tonight. Do they officially have a goalie controversy? 3 days till Super Bowl LVIII. We'll get you caught up on all the preparations with the Niners and the Chiefs and the Mark Mancini report. Mark Mancini is here with us. All that coming up next. Locked Up Sports. What's up, everybody? I'm Bob Walters. Thank you for joining the show inside the Brian Gunzel Studios. Like we said, 3 days to the Super Bowl, so you get all your boxes, get your parties together, everything going on. Me, I'm going to be staying home because I'm out of work and I'm on rec hours and there's a whole thing. But I don't mind staying home for the Super Bowl. I enjoy staying home for the Super Bowl. I like to watch the game, enjoy it. We do have boxes for sale. If anybody wants them, $10 a box. You just contact me via social media or text if you have my number, whichever one. Get in touch with me somehow, and we'll get you a couple boxes, $10 a piece. We'll have all that coming up for you later. We are sponsored. We are powered by the Vouch Store, vouch.store/lockedupsports, vouch.store/lockedupsports. The Rangers tonight, listen, the Rangers got another win tonight. It's their first 3-game win streak since mid-December. They're 36-16-3. I believe they're 36-16-3. They played outstanding, and these are two big wins for the Rangers. I know a lot of people on social media were downplaying it a little bit the other night. That was a big win the other night. Colorado's one of the best teams in the Western Conference. They're one of the better teams in the NHL. The Rangers played excellent. Quick had 32 saves. He was the reason they won. And then tonight against a good Lightning team, the Rangers went out there and they won 3-1. Yeah, Jimmy Vesey with 2 goals. But again, now the story after tonight's game is Johnathan Quick, and do the Rangers have themselves a goalie controversy? Which coming into this season would be unheard of. Unheard of. Johnathan Quick was supposed to be there to support, pick up a couple games here and there. He's older. He's on the downside of his career. He's a Hall of Famer, but he's on the downside of his career. He came to the Rangers. He grew up a Rangers fan. And you know what? With Shesterkin struggling and the way Quick has played so far this season, I think they have a goalie controversy. And I think right now listen, going forward into the playoffs and in the future, obviously Shesterkin is the Rangers goalie. And he's going to have to figure out whatever's going on. He's going to have to get it figured out. Okay. But right now, as of tonight and as of Friday in Chicago, I think the net is clearly it's Johnathan Quick's net. I mean, he's 3 in a row. You got to ride the hot hand. The Rangers have Carolina right on their heels. They got to win these games. You play a team like Chicago. Now, I could see the argument, play Shesterkin against an awful team like Chicago, get his confidence back. Hopefully he plays a good game. The Rangers should be able to win that game. And then you got Calgary on Monday. You could play him again. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't play him. I would stick with Quick. These are games you got to win. He's the hot hand. He's playing very well. He just beat 2 of the better teams in the NHL, one in the Eastern Conference, one in the Western Conference. Why not keep with him? Listen, like I said, is it a goalie controversy? For right now, I think it is. I think it is. And is he going to be a starter going forward throughout the season and into the playoffs? Quick, no, he's not. Because he's older and he's going to eventually wear down a little bit, especially if you have him playing 30 games or 40 games in the season. You can't name him your starter right now. He's an older player. He's going to start to wear down. So they got to figure out what's going on with Shesterkin, because this team will only go as far as Shesterkin goes, especially when it comes to the playoffs and how far into the spring this season will go for the Rangers. They're going to need Shesterkin. So let him sit back, let him figure out what he's doing, figure out what's going on. He's working with the goalie coach. Go with Quick. Keep him in there until they lose. He's won 3 in a row. Tonight, again, the Rangers did not take penalties. You got Tampa Bay's one of the better power plays in the NHL. It's a dynamic power play, the way they move the puck. The Rangers took a penalty in the third period. They killed it off. They got 2 goals in the second period, and it was unlikely people getting the goals. It was Vesey getting 2 and Brzezinski getting a goal. So it was 2-0 Rangers with Brzezinski and Vesey both getting goals in the second period, both with One in the beginning of the second period, one towards the end of the second period with just over 2 minutes left. Brzezinski got the second goal, and it was a soft goal. It was a soft goal led up by Vasilevsky, who's another Hall of Famer. So Vasilevsky in there, Brzezinski kind of got the puck. It squirted out from the boards into the circle, and Brzezinski just one-timed it, and it got through like between his arm and his body. And listen, you'll take it, especially against a goalie like Vasilevsky. You take what you could get. The Rangers, again, on special teams, they played well, killing. They didn't take penalties because even if you're a great penalty kill against a team like Tampa, they're going to score if you give them a couple chances on the power play. Rangers did not. They just gave them the one. They killed it off. And again, they scored and they got good goaltending. Now, it was only 18 saves from Quick tonight, but he played. He did what he had to do. He said, you can't force shots. He stopped the shots that were put his way. And up until the third period, I mean, he gave up the goal. What was it? 5:29 in the third period. The Lightning got the goal. They made it 2-1. The Rangers, they didn't let up either. It's not like they kind of hung back and just tried to win this game by just try to hang on. It wasn't one of those games. They kept the pressure on. They rolled 4 lines. They got 2 goals out of the 4th line, which is unexpected. Whenever you can get something like that, you'll take it. And away they went with a 3-1 win as VC added an empty netter at the end of the game. And the Rangers have won 3 in a row. They're now starting to turn the corner, play better. They had about a month, most of the month of January and a little bit at the end of the month of December. They didn't play as well as they had in the beginning. And now they seem to be picking it up. And the catalyst is Johnathan Quick in between the pipes for the Rangers. And you got to stick with him. I think if you love, you let you stick with him. Now, I don't think he will. I think he's going to play Shesterkin on Friday because he knows that they're going to need Shesterkin. He knows that. He's Laviolette's been around the block a couple times. He knows that Johnathan Quick cannot take this team to the promised land where they want to go. It's going to have to be Shesterkin. And when Shesterkin was asked after the game tonight, he gave the very diplomatic answer. He was on TV on the TNT broadcast. Very always the best in the world. I've learned so much from him. But he wants to play. Of course he wants to play. Johnathan Quick is going to the Hall of Fame. He's a 2-time Stanley Cup winner. He won the Stanley Cup last year as a backup. He wants to play because he's a hockey player, and players want to play. They don't want to sit on the bench, but he's doing everything right. He's saying the right things. He's playing excellent. He's a good teammate. He's a veteran presence in the locker room. And the fact that he's playing great is just a plus for the team because you really didn't expect it, right? You expected him to come in, be solid. When Shesterkin needed a night off, he would be able to step in. You could trust him. You wouldn't have to worry about it if, God forbid, Shesterkin went down. Because coming into this league, Shesterkin was on a path to be one of the all-time greats. On one of the all-time years for a goalie in his rookie year. Took the Rangers almost single-handedly to the conference finals. Last year it was good too. It wasn't as good, but you can't have years like he had the first year, over and over and over and over. It's not going to happen. But he was solid last year. He was one of the top goalies in the league. And then this year, I don't know what's going on. They have obviously found something with his game because he's working with the goalie coach. He is not starting. And we'll see what they do. We'll see. It's very, very interesting to see what Laviolette does on Friday. And I think he's going to play Shesterkin because I think he also doesn't want a goalie controversy. Right? You don't need that. You don't need the noise coming from the reporters and the papers and the interviews about a goalie controversy. Who's your starter? He doesn't want to deal with that. So if you get Shesterkin in there in a game that the Rangers should win, like against Chicago on Friday, and they should beat Calgary again on Monday, if you could get him 2 wins there, it might, temper the calls for Quick to be named the starter. So that's what's going on with the Rangers. Either way, listen, it's the kind of problems that you'll take from your team. They're winning games. They've won. They've come out of the chute here in the second half, post All-Star break, very, very positively. 2 wins against 2 of the best teams in the NHL, both at home. Now they hit the road to Chicago and then home Monday against Calgary. So interesting stuff going on with the Rangers. As far as the Knicks go, last night, scary moment for the Knicks. And Jalen Brunson went down. Knicks had a 28-point lead. Jalen Brunson went down. He rolled his ankle. Knicks almost blew the lead. They ended up winning by 10. But just watching that, you could see that this team is going nowhere. And they are a completely different team when Brunson is not on the court. And they cannot afford to lose him for any kind of time. Anything like the 2 weeks or more, it's going to be a problem. And you're going to see them start to drop in the standings. Now, it doesn't sound like it's as bad. It doesn't sound like it's the nightmare that Knicks fans that we thought it was when it happened. He rolled the ankle. It looked bad. He was down. He had to get helped off the court. He's rolled the ankle earlier in the season as well when Thibodeau left him on the court with 10 seconds left or whatever against the Celtics. And there was a 10-point game. The Knicks were up 28 points. Now, I'm not blaming Thibodeau saying he should have pulled the list and Brunson went down. It wasn't like the last 20 seconds of the game. But the Knicks almost blew the lead. They ended up winning by 10. They've now won 2 straight after losing to the Lakers. So they have won, 11 out of 12. Well, they've won 11 out of the last 12. And listen, they got Dallas tomorrow at home at the Garden. Brunson is listed as questionable, which is good because if he was out, you'd start talking and start worrying, and you'd be like, okay, because we all know, as important as Shesterkin is for the Rangers, Brunson is even more important to the Knicks. They are just a completely different team. You got OG Anunoby, who's going to be, he's ruled out for tomorrow. That's going to be his 6th straight missed game. He's got bone spurs. He's a good player. He's a top player in the NBA. He is injury prone. He misses games, and we're starting to see that here now that he's a Knick. That when he's there and when he plays, he's excellent. But the best ability is availability, right? And he's not available. He's now missed 6 straight games. Tomorrow will be a 6th straight game. The Knicks are they're tied for 3rd with the Bucks, 33-18, identical record as the Bucks at 33-18. The Cavs 33-16, so 2 games in hand. That's why the Cavs are in 2nd in the Eastern Conference, and they're chasing the Celtics, which is now, it's somewhat in reach. They're 6 games back of the Celtics. Now, are they going to catch the Celtics? I don't think they are, but I mean, listen, coming into this season, if you would have told us the Knicks would be 33-18 after 50 some odd games, I mean, come on. You take it in a heartbeat. And they can really do damage in the playoffs, but you got to be healthy. And it's so important. They got to get OG back. He's got to be on the court. He's not on the court a lot. He misses a lot of time, and if you look at his career, he's missed a lot of games. He's injury prone, which is a problem. Brunson is the main thing, though. Listen, Brunson, and when the report came out a couple hours ago that he's questionable for tomorrow's game rather than out, I think a big sigh of relief was taken by all the Knicks fans across the city here because we know how important Brunson is. We know he is the Knicks right now, and as far as he goes, that's how far the Knicks will go. And if you lose him, forget it. So we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to be back. We're going to talk Super Bowl, and then we'll have the Mark Mancini report. We'll talk Super Bowl when we get back right after this. All right, I want to talk to you now about Rogue Pet Science. And if you're like me, I have cats, but if you're like me with if you have dogs, you know that they're part of the family, right? You want them to be healthy. You want them to be happy. You want them to live as long as possible. And that's where Rogue Pet Science comes in. Rogue Pet Science was founded by passionate scientists and pet health enthusiasts. Rogue Pet Science is on a mission to ensure those precious paws stay happy and healthy. Picture this: more energy, longer, healthier life, fewer of those big vet bills that you have to deal with. What sets them apart? Rogue Pet Science offers fantastic food toppers to support a healthy weight, delicious dog treats, and true canine favorites, the Yak Stick. Because let's be honest, our dogs deserve nothing but the best. Check out Rogue Pet Science and let's give our pets the love and care they deserve. Here's to happy, healthy dogs. You can find Rogue Pet Science and all of the treats and the food toppers at the Vouch store, vouch.store/lockedupsports, vouch.store/lockedupsports.
Hey, this is Sarah Walters, wife of Locked Up Sports host Bob Walters. I love a good cocktail, but I'm certainly no mixologist. And these days, who has the time to go out and get the latest fancy craft cocktails? Luckily, there's a delicious solution that even I can make. It's called Camp Craft Cocktails. All I have to do is add my favorite spirit, put it in the refrigerator, and 3 days later, I have the perfectly infused, flavorful, refreshing cocktail. Camp Craft Cocktails have many varieties and go great with any type of spirit. These cocktails are perfect to serve at parties and make a great gift as well. To get your choice of Camp Craft cocktails delivered right to your door, head on over to our partner Vouch at vouch.store/lockedupsports and pick up some of the individual jars or one of the many bundles available. Camp Craft cocktails are just one of the many great items available at the Locked Up Sports Vouch store, where everything is vouched for by the Locked Up Sports team. I wouldn't trust my husband's pick for the big game, but when it comes to cocktails, he knows what he's talking about. The Vouch website is vouch.store/lockedupsports, or you can click the link to the Vouch store on the show's website, lockedupsports.net. Cheers.
This is Bob Nightingale from USA Today. You're listening to Locked Up Sports.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Locked Up Sports. I'm Bob Walters inside the Brian Gunzel studio. 3 days. We are 3 days away from Super Bowl 58. The long wait, the 2 weeks, the 2 week wait. I hate the 2 weeks, right? I mean, I wish they just played it last week. I feel like it loses momentum. You lose a little bit of momentum coming into the Super Bowl off of the championship games by having that week off. I get why they do it. It's a logistics thing to get, it's a big production, running a Super Bowl and putting the Super Bowl on. You got to get 1 million people into the city for the Super Bowl. The team's got to get the ticket situation settled with their families and everything like that. You got to install game plans. You got to practice. So I get why they do it, but selfishly, I'd rather there not be a week off. I mean, it would just be better to have it played last week, right? Coming off the championship games. I feel like it loses a little momentum. I mean, there's really not how much more can you really talk about, right? We know the Niners and the Chiefs. We've watched them now through the playoffs. We've watched the Chiefs now for a couple years. The Niners are coming up. I mean, they just had media day yesterday. And media day, listen, you just want to get through media day without anybody on your team saying anything stupid. And it seems so far from what I've heard and from what I've seen that they did that. Both the Niners and the Chiefs were able to get out of there. You knew the Chiefs would with Andy Reid. He keeps his team pretty tight-lipped and buttoned up. Kyle Shanahan the same way. You have the Niners are a little bit more of a younger team, but you got some veteran presidents on there. Kittles and Purdy is young, but Purdy's not going to say anything stupid. Purdy knows what he's doing. He seems to be very composed. So they survived media day, and then Super Bowl week is just about over now. Now you kind of you hunker down if you're the two teams, and you get final preparations together over the next 2 days. You get a good night's sleep Saturday, and then Sunday you got the biggest game of your life. If you're unless you're Patrick Mahomes and although I think this is a very, very big Super Bowl for Patrick Mahomes as well as Andy Reid. I think Andy Reid is gonna retire after. I think win or lose he retires after, but we will see. The matchup that when you're talking matchups in the Super Bowl, that's really all we got left to talk about, right? I think the most fascinating matchup for me is Spags' defense for the Chiefs, which has been lights out. One of the best defense that Andy Reid has ever had. Going up against this powerful, high-powered offense of the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I don't know. You never know how a quarterback's going to react or how any player is going to react in their first Super Bowl. This is Brock Purdy's first Super Bowl. He's still young. He's trying to become the 5th quarterback to ever win the Super Bowl in his first year in the NFL as a starter. And they classify NFL starter for a full year as playing more than 50% of your team's games. So I'm not even sure who the other 4 are, to be honest with you. But I read that. I thought it was interesting. But I think the matchup of the Chiefs defense and how Spagnuolo calls the game, against the dynamic offense of the 49ers with Christian McCaffrey, and they got Kittles and Purdy. How is he going to react? I think he's got to pressure him. He's been pressuring everybody, right? He blitzed the house and he brought the house on a lot of plays against the Ravens, and he stifled the MVP, Lamar Jackson, and he just was off his game. And that's how you do it. That's how he beat that's how he beat the Patriots with the Giants, the undefeated Patriots. He rattled Tom Brady. He blitzed them, and the Giants just beat the hell out of Tom Brady for that game. And I think Spags has brought the blitz. They've been blitzing. They got good corners. They have a good secondary. They got their linebackers have been blitzing, and they've been getting to the quarterback. I think if they get to Purdy, they're going to rattle him. He's going to make some mistakes, and that could be the difference in the game. So now there's an interesting thing I read is Ed McCaffrey, of course. Ed McCaffrey played for the Giants, played for the 49ers, and also played for the Denver. Won 2 Super Bowls with Denver, back-to-back Super Bowls, 97 and 98, I believe, were the Super Bowls with Denver, with Elway. Mike Shanahan was the coach of that team. So father-son winning back-to-back Super Bowls. Now you got Christian McCaffrey and Kyle Shanahan as the coach, and they're going to try and join the list of father-sons to win the Super Bowl on the same team. And you know, it's interesting. Ed McCaffrey, to be honest with you, I didn't realize that Christian McCaffrey was Ed McCaffrey's kid. I mean, I remember Ed McCaffrey on the Giants, right? We all remember it. And the Broncos and the 49ers for he was played receiver he was a good receiver. You know, he sat behind Jerry Rice and Taylor in San Francisco, but he was the lead number 1 receiver for Elway in Denver. He was solid for the Giants. So and I don't know why. I didn't realize I didn't put 2 and 2 together that Ed McCaffrey is the father of Christian McCaffrey. Now I might be the only one that didn't do that, or I don't know. But for some reason I didn't put 2 and 2 together and see that. So that's an interesting storyline. Like I said, there's not much left to discuss, right? We know what's going on. We know the teams. We know who we like. I like the Chiefs. I'm going to give you an official pick with a score this weekend, Saturday, when we do a show with Brett. So we'll have that. You know, listen, I like the Chiefs. Okay. I like the Chiefs. I don't think Brock Purdy is going to stop Mahomes, and I don't think he's going to stop Andy Reid, and I don't think he's going to be able to play that well against Spagnuolo's defense. And I think the Chiefs win, and I think they win by like 10 points. It's fascinating to me, though, that there's a lot of money coming in on the Niners. They're a 2-point favorite, and the line's probably not going to move off 2, right? You're probably going to go to kickoff with a 2-point favorite. But hey, listen, that it should be a fun game, and like I said, we'll have plenty of it on it on Sunday. We'll get more into the X and O's with Brett and what we think is going to go on. But I'm telling you, watch that matchup, the Chiefs defense against the powerful 49ers offense and Spagnuolo, because he's been brilliant. He was brilliant against the Ravens, and they went into Baltimore and won that game, shut down that team, the best team in the NFL, which a lot of us thought, and a lot of us picked Baltimore to knock out Kansas City. I mean, if you go through the shows, back in the shows that we've had the last 3 months, I say multiple times that Kansas City is ripe to be picked off. And now, you know what? Now I'm not saying it anymore because I'm sick of being wrong. And, you know, with my track record, I will probably be wrong and the Niners will probably win. But so let's get to Mark Mancini. The Mancini Report, of course, is brought to you by Split Rock Coffee. Here is the Mancini Report. Mark Mancini, XM Radio. Talk to you. Here it is, the Mancini Report. All right, so now it's time for the Mark Mancini Report. The Mark Mancini Report brought to you by Split Rock Coffee. Split Rock Coffee, coffee with a purpose. It's made by veterans. You can find it at the Vouch Store, vouch.store/lockedupsports. Mark, how are you doing? Almost Super Bowl. Have you had your Split Rock Coffee? Did you have it yet today?
Oh, man, I'll tell you, I got to get a couple cans of that, my brother, man. I love my coffee. And Split Rock backing this up. Man, yeah. What more can you ask? Supporting the veterans and everything? Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, supporting the veterans. You can't.
I just added some.
Go ahead.
I just added another person to the can't stand list, and I watched a little bit of the Grammys. Not a big fan of Miley Cyrus, man. Great body, but that's about where it stops.
I like Miley Cyrus. I think, you know why? Here's the thing, and my wife always gets on me about this. I'm not musically inclined at all. Like zero. Like I sing around the house and I'm terrible. But and I don't like get music for like a purpose. If it's catchy, I like it. So if it's cheesy and it's catchy and it's pop top 20 top stuff, I like it. If I can sing it, remember the words, I like it. Miley Cyrus, I like it.
I look at her and I say to myself, she must be running off her dad's coattails, man. I don't know.
She was in the beginning, but now she's bigger than her father.
Yeah. I didn't care for her on The Voice. And, I think she's, then she's holding on to Dolly Parton there a little. So I don't know. Give me Eva Mendes. Give me Michelle Pfeiffer, the Catwoman. Give me some of these.
It's a different generation. Miley Cyrus is could be your grandkids' age, right?
Yeah, well.
What are you, 42, 43?
Yeah, my grandkids look better than Miley Cyrus.
Hey, listen, I'm sure they do. Hey, listen, Miley Cyrus is too young for me, all right? Let's not get ourselves in trouble, Mark. We just got sponsors. Let's not lose the sponsors here, right?
No, we can't do that, man. We can't do that.
So now it's Super Bowl week, right? We had I think today was the media day. I don't get really wrapped up in any of this stuff until the game almost starts. Are you? What have you been paying attention this week? Well, what are you looking for this week coming into the game on Sunday?
Well, I'll tell you, we don't have a dog in the fight. You or I, we both know that. When you look at it, it's the whole Taylor Swift movement with the Kansas City Chiefs, barbecue food, Andy Reid and his Tommy Burgers, Patrick Mahomes and his dysfunctional family. I mean, we got that on one side. On the other side, we got the San Francisco 49ers. Where Kyle Shanahan's trying to resurrect himself in Super Bowls, whether it's being a part of the Atlanta Falcons, blowing it to the New England Patriots, or, losing to the Chiefs the first time. So you go figure it. I will tell you, I had a buddy lay out some big money, $22,000 just to go get a ticket to sit next to the 49er bench and watch their asses from
22,000. Wait, 22,000 a seat?
Yeah, right, first row.
Yeah, but even first of all,
I said.
First of all, first row is not where you want to sit.
No, that's the worst place to sit. But he's the same guy that paid $1,300 to see the Las Vegas Golden Knights on the glass. So who knows, man?
Those are the worst seats. The front row in the NHL and the front row in the NFL are some of the worst seats you could possibly have. I've sat in the
who's
NHL.
Spending it?
Yeah,
who's spending this kind of money unless it's corporation?
Well, he must have. I mean, he's obviously got money, right? He's obviously got money.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. You went to a Knicks game a couple weeks back.
Yeah, $1,000 for 4 seats.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. The Garden's always expensive.
It's ludicrous.
But 22,000 is outrageous.
Yeah, the Yankees aren't cheap. The Mets, you could probably kind of work your way in there.
Yeah, well, listen, baseball you could work your way in. You could get in reasonable price with baseball because there's game every day, right? Now, Yankees have the legend seats, and you could sit in places where it's going to cost you $1,000. The Knicks game the other night, I was talking with my buddy on our show just this past weekend. The Knicks-Lakers, Saturday night, LeBron in the building against the Lakers. The cheap, I looked an hour before the game just to see how, I was just curious. $678 was the get in the building price for a regular season game.
That's first of all, when you look at the NBA today, and I'm a Bucks fan, I watched about 10 minutes of that game last night against Phoenix. I can't watch it, man. The NBA, there's no defense. We talked about this last week. It's a bunch of totem poles. I mean, guys are scoring 70, 60. There's 145, 144 scores. I mean, they're trying to drive this sport like they are in baseball, where chicks dig the long ball. Yeah,
I mean, that's what they're trying to do. Now, back to the Super Bowl. I had asked you last week. Now, as far as Andy Reid goes, I like Andy Reid. I think he's a likable guy. He's had, he's overcome tragedy in his life with his son passing away and everything like that. And he's Eagles coach or not. I like Andy Reid. I think if he wins this, he's one of the all-time. He's up right up there, maybe just one notch below like a Belichick. What are your feelings on that?
First of all, did you take a couple shots at Jack Daniels before the show?
You think he's? I think he's better than. I think he's Joe Gibbs.
Andy Reid. Well, here's the thing with Andy Reid. Andy Reid, to me, in Philadelphia, did absolutely nothing. He came into Kansas City kind of like Phil Jackson, rode in on the white horse when everything was pretty much put together for him. And now he's winning, so he's riding the coattails of Patrick Mahomes. I think technically he's stealing money along with Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes should get the big bonus there.
Well, listen, Patrick Mahomes, as far as I'm concerned, he's one of the best. He's going to be one of the best ever. And I think him, but look, this is going to be the third Super Bowl if he wins for Andy Reid. Third Super Bowl. And you could say all you want. He's riding the coattails of Kelce and of Mahomes. Of course he is, because he's not playing the games. You're not going to take a bunch of the Giants or the Jets this year to the Super Bowl and win with them, right? Belichick had Brady, Jimmy Johnson had Aikman, everybody. I think Marv Levy too. Marv Levy had Jim Kelly. They never won one, but they went to 4 straight. So everybody has great players.
The problem here is Belichick is better, Parcells is better. John Gruden, I think, had more tenacity. I take John Gruden over Andy Reid. I'm looking at the makeup and what this guy can do for teams. That if that situation didn't, present itself in Vegas, John Gruden would have probably won in Vegas. I kind of like those kind of guys. When you look, Tony Dungy, another one that built the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Bill Walsh.
There's a lot of great, there's a lot of great coaches. To me, I look at Andy Reid like I look at Phil Jackson somewhat. No Michael Jordan, no Scottie Pippen. What is Phil Jackson won? He couldn't win in New York. Pat Riley won in New York.
Nobody would have won in New York with those teams. You think Pat Riley would have won with the teams Phil Jackson had? I think if Phil Jackson had Pat Riley's teams, he would have won.
Pat Riley should have won in New York if John Starks could hit his threes against Houston that one year.
Yeah, no, listen, I know. But that's what I'm saying is I think Phil Jackson could have won with Pat Riley. You're right. Pat Riley should have won. And if they didn't come out, no, that was Van Gundy when they came out on that.
Andy Reid's in that category of Mancini. I throw Mike Krzyzewski in there. Give me Jerry Tarkanian.
George Seifert.
Give me John Calipari. Krzyzewski's another one that rides the coattails of everybody coming. And, I'm not a big Krzyzewski guy either. But,
really?
I look at these coaches. I think a coach, to me, garners, the room in a lot of ways, whether it's a little bit of swag. I like Jim Harbaugh a lot.
Yes, I do too. I think Jim Harbaugh I think he's probably right now one of the top 3 football coaches in America, college, anything.
I like John Harbaugh.
Yep.
I don't like the Ravens, but I like John Harbaugh. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Don Shula was a good one.
Yep. What about Chuck Noll? Chuck Noll, your Steelers.
Chuck Noll. Yeah, you can keep going on.
So you would. I mean, Andy Reid, he's obviously going to walk into Canton. But what do you put him up there with like a Krzyzewski and a Phil Jackson? I mean, to most people, that doesn't sound like a knock on him.
Well, I mean, if when you look at, I'll give you an example. McCarthy at Dallas. Once he got out of Green Bay, what's he done in Dallas? Now, I don't want to knock him too much because he's a Pennsylvania guy. Mm-hmm. But what's McCarthy done?
Yeah,
you took Andy Reid out of that situation in Philly. He didn't do nothing. He finds himself in happy land.
He went to a Super Bowl in Philly, though. Right? Did he? He took with Donovan McNabb?
Yeah, but what happened?
And they lost. No, they lost. I know. I get that. But he's going to win his 3rd one here. I think he's going. You think he's going to retire after this, win or lose?
Well, maybe he'll open up a Tommy's. I know he's a big Tommy's guy. It's a food chain out here with hamburgers, so he likes the chili. So maybe he'll open up a Tommy's. Who knows if they're not shipping Tommy's burgers out to Vegas? Yeah.
Hey, listen. What are you going to do? I happen to like him. Now you also have. I saw in there, and I've spoken.
You know what? The other thing I'd like to jump on is how come Eric Bieniemy can't find a job?
That's a good question. He did. You know why? Because here's the deal. Eric Bieniemy was the hot item, I guess 2 years ago, right? He was the hot. Everybody wanted him, and he didn't get the job. Or did he turn one down? He might have turned one down. He didn't get a job. I know he didn't. He went on a couple interviews. He didn't get a job, and now it passed it like his name faded, and there's new hot guys coming up, and the hot coordinators and everything. Like, for some reason, look at Belichick doesn't have a job. Vrabel doesn't have a job. These are good football coaches. Belichick, one of the best ever.
I was surprised Vrabel didn't get the New England job.
Oh, I would.
Really surprised.
I'd hire Vrabel in a second. And the Giants, maybe they should consider knocking on the tires, see if Belichick wants to be a defensive coordinator. They could use a defensive coordinator. Now they just hired somebody, but
kind of, why wouldn't you, maybe, the interview with Atlanta, maybe I think Belichick's got to get into a situation where he can put him over the hump. The team's almost there, kind of like the Buffalo Bills. Belichick would help that team. The Eagles, they just need a push. The Cowboys could be one.
What about the Jets?
Just need that little push.
What about the Jets? The Jets are a disaster. Their coach is terrible. Belichick gets along with Rodgers. I know they're buddies. What about, get rid of Saleh, because Saleh's got to go anyway. But get rid of Saleh and hire him in the Jets. I don't know if he would take it because of everything that went on in the past, but give it a shot, right? It can't hurt to ask.
Well, Rodgers is another one. Be careful for what you wish for, because Jordan Love took Green Bay, boy, and he almost took him to the championship game.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I think the Rodgers and the Jets thing is just crash. Is going to crash and burn. It's going to crash and burn. First of all, it's the Jets, right? They can't get anything right ever. Second of all, he's 40 years old now. He hasn't played in a season. He's coming off surgery, and it's the Jets too. You gotta expect it. I expect it to crash and burn.
Well, and that's the other thing. They were all in. They moved their chips to the center of the table, and now they're trying to figure out how they lost, and it's time to go. The casino needs to close, and the Jets are still sitting at the table trying to figure this thing out.
The Jets.
It's kind of, you know what? It's almost like the Mets.
That's what I said.
Like the Mets in some ways.
And like I said, I feel bad as a Mets fan. I feel bad because I'd say 90% of Mets fans are Jets fans. They got to deal with the Mets and the Jets. At least I got the Giants. At least somehow, my father made me a Giants fan, so something happened. So I got something good. I got a couple worlds. What is that? You hear that?
Weather alert in California with a storm watch.
I thought we were gonna have the 88 World Series. I thought it was gonna be I thought we were gonna have an earthquake or something here.
Yeah, we got out here we get people covering puddles.
Yeah, you guys listen. You guys get rain in the winter, and then you get burning the fires in the summer.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, man. What's going on with the state? Mudslides, and then you get the fires. I mean, we got a drought, and then you got it's crazy. I got a buddy that's a meteorologist out here. I go, what is going on, man?
I mean, they're just guessing.
Every time I see you guys, you're covering a puddle.
He's a meteorologist. Did he go to school for meteorology? Because to me, they're just guessing, right? I mean, I could tell you it's going to be partly. We went
He's
3
a great
weeks.
Guy. I love him.
Oh, I'm not saying he's not.
Great. Yeah.
You have to be.
Well, I mean, come on, man. How much time do you have to put in to be a meteorologist?
I don't think, right? I don't think you have to do that much. The
weather in California is 350 days out of 365 is great.
Well, you got Jim Cantori, who's the guy. He just goes out. All you got to do is be able to go out in the weather, right? You got to be standing the elements, and who wants to do that? You're only on TV for 2 minutes every night. Half the time you're wrong. Everyone is on you when you're wrong, and then you're getting blasted when it's crappy weather. You got to stand out there in 3 feet of snow or driving winds like those. How many times do you see them leaning into the wind? I don't know. Yeah. It's not for me. They better be making good money, but they got to be personable, so they're good like that. Now you have a problem also with. You're crazy, Mark. You like Mahomes, but you have a problem with Reed, and you don't like Travis Kelce, who's. Listen, if you don't like him personally, if you don't like his girlfriend, that's one thing. But he is an all-time tight end.
No. I mean, first of all, when you look at that Travis Kelce, we talked about this last week too with tight ends. This guy's game has gone downhill ever since he's dated Taylor Swift. Don't the facts add up to that?
This year, maybe, but I don't think it's Taylor Swift. Okay. I think he's getting a little older. He's only dated Taylor Swift for half this season, right? Or was it the whole season? I think it was only half the season.
Yeah, but what's he done? I mean, when you look at it,
he single-handedly beat the Ravens.
He's no Rob Gronkowski.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay, he's no Heath Miller in my book.
Yeah, he's better than Heath Miller. He's no Gronkowski. I'll give you credit. Heath Miller. He's better than Heath Miller, and he's better than he's like, I think, and I said this to you before, Antonio Gates.
Oh, I take Antonio Gates any day of the week.
Over Kelce.
Antonio Gates is much bigger than this guy.
Really?
Much bigger.
Yeah, but can he catch? And Antonio, listen, Antonio, they're both great. You're splitting, you're 1 and 1A type of situation. They're both going to be Hall of Famers. So I'm not ripping Antonio.
I'll tell you one thing: a healthy Mark Andrews, I take over him too.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, then I want to be picking in the same league that you're picking.
And you're going to tell me he's better than Dave Casper?
Yeah. I mean, listen, he's on the decline. Okay, he's getting older. But if you look and he had he said, I just put the graphic up. Here it is right here again. 8 of the last 9 playoff games, he scored a touchdown.
Okay, even as we're tripping over our shoelace, and I know we're doing that maybe to sell tickets in these 2 cities of Kansas City and San Francisco, but the game has changed so much. And Mahomes, they're trying to pass him the torch to take over Brady. To me, Brady's the best ever. And I'll have Bradshaw in there too. But they've changed the rules so much where you can't touch a quarterback. The game's changed. You get some of them old defenses of the 70s, they'd be tearing up Travis Kelce. He wouldn't even get off the line of scrimmage.
What do you say?
Mel Blunt.
He's bigger than those guys. So you think he's Ditka? You think Ditka was better than him?
Well, those guys hit you, and they continue to hit you when you were on the ground.
You're right. I saw a thing on Mean Joe Green. He grabbed the guy's helmet. He would throw the helmet into the stands.
The running attack that they have today, Earl Campbell could survive in it because he was a big guy, man, trying to take down. He would steamroll the Kansas City defense and probably steamroll the San Francisco defense.
Well, I'll tell you
that guy. I mean, the Steelers had problems bringing him down. They had to gang tackle him. Took 3-4 guys to bring him down. If you looked at the old clips,
I think one of the best matchups to watch in this Super Bowl is Spagnuolo and his D. Spagnuolo, what he does against the dynamic San Francisco offense, because he blitzes. He loves to blitz. We had him here with the Giants for a long time, and he does and he's a blitzer. He did it against the Ravens. It's going to be, that's a fascinating matchup to me. Give us your pick for the Super Bowl. Give us your score for the Super Bowl.
I like San Francisco because I think Shanahan can touch the clouds. And I think it's going to be 38-21.
38-21. You think they scored 38 points in that Kansas City defense? All right. Well, yeah. I got Kansas City. I'm done betting against Mahomes, and regardless of what you say, I'm done betting against Mahomes, and I'm done betting against Kelce and Andy Reid and everything. Mark,
I said this. I said this: if the Penguins don't win the Cup, keep your eyes. And you know me, and I said this before, and everybody laughed. And they finally realized it. I said, "Hey, listen, WrestleMania, it's not going to be Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. It would be The Rock. They want to sell tickets in Philly. I'm telling you right now, Austin Matthews is much better than Connor McDavid. Toronto Maple Leafs will win the Cup.
Listen, I'm not going to be surprised if it hits 38-21. There are many things that you said that I got off here with you. I got off the show and I was like, what is he talking about? He's a lunatic. And then it happens.
Yeah.
So, just like I'm done betting against the Chiefs and Mahomes, I'm done betting against you, because no matter how stupid or crazy you might sound on here, it ends up coming true 6 weeks later. And I'm like, oh my God, he was right. Now I got to go in there and tell him. Mark Mancini, XM Radio. Mark, enjoy the Super Bowl, and I'll talk to you next week, and we'll see how right you really were.
Yeah, we got to do it after Valentine's, because we got our spouse is going to ask us what the hell we doing.
No show on Valentine's Day, Mark. Don't get me in trouble.
Yeah. Hey, I love you. Say hi to the family.
Will do. You the same, Mark.
Out and wait till my Penguins get a hold of your Rangers.
All right, I told you. I know the mayor now. You got to get out here. We'll go to the game. I'll get us tickets. Not on the glass.
Definitely get.
Not on the glass, because we don't want to sit on the glass. I want to see the game.
Yeah.
All right,
I
Mark.
love you, brother.
Catch you later.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mark Mancini. Listen, he says a lot of crazy stuff, right? But to his credit, he's been right about a lot of the crazy stuff that I thought he was crazy about when he said it. A couple weeks later, I have to eat crow because I was wrong, and it turns out he was right. So we'll see. And $22,000 for Super Bowl tickets. Who's paying that? If you're not a business, even if you are business, if you're not a big corporation, one of these big businesses in this country, you're not. Who would pay $22,000? First of all, football is better on television than it is in person. I get it. I would like, just like everybody else, I would like to go to a Super Bowl one time in my life too, just to say you went. And Mark's actually talking about getting us onto Radio Row next year in New Orleans, but that's we'll see about that. But I would like to go to a Super Bowl. But from what I've heard from people who have gone to the Super Bowl and people I know who have gone to the Super Bowl, it's a long game. The commercials are longer. You got a half-hour halftime show. The halftime show is geared 100% towards television, so it's not really like a concert. It's not going to be like an Usher concert. So it's different. It's a different kind of game. If you go to NFL games regularly, the Super Bowl is completely different from any other. And I get, obviously it's different. It's the Super Bowl, but it's not. Football in general is better on television. You get the replays, just the angles, everything. Everything is better. And he's also sitting right behind the bench in the front row. Those are some of the worst seats. I don't know why people think they like the closer the better. Basketball, yes, closer the better. Here's the way I look at it with seats. All right, they give the best seats in the house to the announcers. Okay, in basketball, they're sitting on the court. Mike Breen is sitting right there on the court, front row. Hockey, they're sitting midway up center ice. Football, they're sitting midway up 50-yard line. Okay, it's just not a good seat front row. You can't see like from back of the end zone. Those aren't good seats. So, I hope he enjoys the game. He spent a whole ton of money on it, $22,000 a ticket. He apparently bought 4 tickets. I mean, I guess he has money, right? You're not spending that kind of money unless you have serious amounts of money. So that's going to do it for us tonight. Rangers with a big win, 3 in a row. Goalie controversy. Do they play Quick on Friday against Chicago? I think Shesterkin plays. I would play Quick. We'll see what they do. Brunson, questionable for tomorrow. Listen, don't play Brunson tomorrow. Let him sit. Let him rest the ankle. If you lose, you lose. Okay? I'd rather lose tomorrow's game than lose Brunson for 6 to 8 weeks and just have the whole thing go down the tubes when you're having such a good season. So sit Brunson. I don't think he's going to play tomorrow, which is fine. And, maybe they pull one out. Maybe they don't. Either way, don't ruin this. Don't push him out there. And I think Thibodeau is smart enough to realize that and not do that. So we'll see what goes on there. Super Bowl 3 days away. We'll be with you Saturday. Again, we're sponsored by Vouch Store. Check out the Vouch Store, would you? Vouch.store/lockedupsports. Vouch.store/lockedupsports. Check it out. Pick up some stuff for your Super Bowl party. We'll have it delivered by the Super Bowl. Guaranteed. That's going to do it for us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember, rate, review, and subscribe. Every little bit helps. Rate, review, and subscribe. Okay? We'll talk to you Saturday, everybody. I'm Bob Walters. See ya.